Today's Mystery Monday is one that has been unsolved for over a century. But as eerie as you may find it to be, it played a vital role in Black history and excellence. Lloyd Gaines was born in 1911 in Water Valley, Mississippi to Henry Richard Gaines, a tenant farmer and former teacher, and his wife, Callie. Lloyd had 10 other siblings, but several of them died during Lloyd's childhood, as did his father. In the spring of 1926, Lloyd's family went to live in St. Louis with his older brother, George Gaines. Lloyd's education in Mississippi was so poor that at age 15, he was put in Waring Elementary School's 5th grade class. Yet, he caught up quickly. He excelled as a high school student, serving on the school debate team, writing for the school journal, and winning election as vice president of his senior class. Lloyd graduated from Vashon High School in 1931, and an essay that he wrote earned him a $250 scholarship for college. After attending Stowe Teachers College for a year, Lloyd left St. Louis to attend Lincoln University in Jefferson City. He graduated in 1935 with a history degree and began to consider continuing his studies by going to law school. In the 1930s, education in Missouri was segregated, and Lincoln, the only Black university, had no law school. One of Lloyd's former teachers presented another possibility by putting him in touch with leaders in the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, widely known as the NAACP, who pledged to support him in a lawsuit for the right to attend the University of Missouri School of Law. Lloyd applied to MU's law school in the summer of 1935. Silas W. Canada, the university registrar, refused to decide on his admission. On January 24, 1936, lawyers from the NAACP sued Canada to force a decision. In March, he was formally denied admission to the law school because he was Black. On April 15, 1936, Lloyd and his lawyers from the NAACP sued to gain entry into the University of Missouri. Lloyd's case was partially based on Plessy v. Ferguson, a U.S. Supreme Court case from 1896, which upheld segregated public facilities if they were separate but equal. His attorneys also based their argument on the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees the equal protection of the laws for everyone in each state. Although Lloyd's case was highly publicized by members of the Black press, such as Lucille Bluford of the Kansas City Call, newspapers controlled by the whites gave uneven coverage of the lawsuit. Many even squarely campaigned against him. Furthermore, although Black people were often openly discriminated against in Missouri's legal system, the judges Lloyd faced had additional biases. The judge who ruled against him in a circuit court in July 1936 was a University of Missouri School of Law graduate, as were 3 of the 7 judges who heard his case in the Missouri Supreme Court in May 1937, after Lloyd's lawyers appealed the circuit court's decision. Missouri's highest court ruled against him on December 9, 1937. When Lloyd's case was argued before the U.S. Supreme Court on November 9, 1938, however, things went differently. Just 1 month later, on December 12th, the court ruled in favor of him. Although it upheld segregation and the idea of separate but equal facilities, the court declared it a violation of the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause for Missouri to force students to seek education out of state because of their race. The decision meant that not only Missouri, but all segregationist states were technically required either to provide matching educational programs at a Black university or to allow Black students entry into a white-only university where their desired program existed. Missouri lawmakers swiftly created a Black law in 1939 to avoid desegregating the University of Missouri, so the NAACP prepared another case to try to force the university to admit Lloyd. But Lloyd Gaines, around the age of 28, suspiciously disappeared. After attending college in Michigan from 1936 to 1938 and working for that state's civil service department, he returned to St. Louis in early 1939. After his Supreme Court victory, he became a minor celebrity and gave several public speeches, but he was in constant debt and financial trouble. He eventually sought work in Chicago, and there he visited an old girlfriend and stayed at a fraternity house where he was last seen on March 19th. He left behind a bag of belongings, but no clues concerning his whereabouts. In a letter to his mother written just before his disappearance, he had expressed frustration with how the lawsuit had affected his life. Since he was not in regular contact with his family or lawyers, it was not until October that he was truly considered missing. Due to his absence, his case seeking admittance to the University of Missouri was dropped. Family members suspected that Lloyd Gaines was abducted and murdered for his activism, while state officials claim he fled and assumed another identity in response to threats against him and his loved ones. Other theories include him simply getting tired and giving up, and one of his former professors at Lincoln University even claiming that Lloyd had relocated to Mexico and that he had spoken to him over the phone. But to this day, his fate is unknown. However, what is known is that Lloyd Gaines's case inspired other African Americans, including Lucille Bluford, to seek admittance into the white-only state universities. His case was also cited in Brown v. Board of Education, which outlawed legal segregation in educational facilities in 1954. It was also instrumental in the eventual integration of the University of Missouri in 1950. To honor his struggle for civil rights, the university renamed its Gaines Oldham Black Culture Center after him in 2000, and the MU School of Law awarded him an honorary law degree in 2006. Thank you all for watching.